Boy, oh boy, the 2025 bingo card for January is already looking like a steal. With this whole lawsuit involving personalities like Skip Bayless, Samuel Acho, and Joy Taylor of Fox Sports 1 in this whole wild lawsuit. Which this whole lawsuit is alleging that Nushin Faraji was sexually harassed by Skip Bayless and others, and even Skip went as far as to allegedly offer $1.5 million for sex. Not to mention, this whole lawsuit mentions Joy Taylor, of all people, that she basically was sleeping her way to the top, sleeping around with Samuel Acho, as well as an executive. And when Miss Faraji was kind of like aware of this, pretty much she was told to remain quiet. Now, granted, these are all allegations, but if this is true, this is a very, very, very wild lawsuit. And I feel like multiple careers are going to be ended in an instant. I mean, and it makes you look at the whole departure that Skip had with Fox Sports a little differently now, and something that they may have tried to brush underneath the rug and didn't think was going to, get to the public. And it's going to, be one of the things where you got to wait and see if Skip will fight this in court or if he will admit to any wrongdoing. But the idea of him paying 1.5 mil to sleep with a coworker is mental, okay? Like with a coworker, not a regular IG model. Not even a stripper, not even a bartender at Starbucks. You would think he would be able to get anybody scot-free. Now, granted, he is married. This whole thing gonna end up ending messy as hell. I would imagine, if I had to speculate, if this is true, that Skip may end up getting a divorce. And it just seems like a bunch of infidelity going on between Skip, Acho, and Joy Taylor. Because Acho's married too, I believe. And if this is true about him getting with Joy Taylor just so she can get a spot on the show, I think that's wild in of itself. I don't care if she is throwing it on you. If she's throwing it on you for the sole purpose of getting ahead and thinks, oh, you gonna promote me, that's just gonna muddy the waters. It's just very unprofessional. And we see this all the time at a workplace where you will see people there that's unprofessional as hell that will sleep with somebody who wants to sleep their way to the top. And it makes you wonder what would put that in their head that makes them feel like, oh, I have to do this, or that they just want to do it. That could also be a possibility. Instead of hiring somebody who you fucked, you could have hired somebody who's qualified for the fucking job. Instead, you hired Joy Taylor, who probably wasn't even qualified for her own position. It's just one of the things you're just not supposed to do if you're in a authoritarian position of power. Because, all right, let's say y'all sleep together and she don't get hired. Best believe she gonna come up to work and cause a problem or snitch on you to your wife. Or let's say, okay, boom, she gets hired. You didn't already sully the well, because I could assure you all it's gonna take is that one little piece of ass to catch some feelings behind some dick, and now she gonna try to go see your wife. Like, some of y'all don't be thinking this shit through. Y'all just be horny in the moment. Sex is the new drug that y'all just can't say no to for whatever reason. And y'all don't look at the circumstances surrounding the shit. First of all, you're married, which, look, I'm not gonna tell nobody to, not cheat on their wife. Like, look, I don't know people's problems at home, but like, you just gotta ask yourself what's worth it and what's not worth it. Because ultimately, if this is true, the only reason why she got on the show Speak is because she got with Acho. And then I look at Joy Taylor. What possessed you to think, if this is true, that told you have to sleep your way to the top? You gotta fuck these executives, you gotta fuck Samuel Acho, and when you get to the top, you're gonna claim that they did something to you. If that's true, if that is true, Joy Taylor is good as fired. Not just her, but possibly Samuel Acho. I'm not saying that they'll fire him for infidelity. It just depends on how the company looks at it, and it could be one of the things where it makes the company look bad as a whole. Like, because you know how it is. Like, if a company could know you're cheating on your wife privately and they won't do nothing, but if you're like a high-ranking official and it becomes like a social pariah, then just to save face, they're like, all right, we got to get rid of you because we don't need no bad PR. We're trying to land more sponsors and shit. Get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep your dick in your pants next time. But back to Joy. Your career is over. You're done. You're finito if this is true. Like, you shouldn't work anywhere ever in your life again. If you felt uncomfortable by Acho's advances, or if you felt uncomfortable by that executive, which I also feel like he's a bag fumbler too. God knows how much money he was getting paid as an exec at Fox Sports 1 off you to lose it all over some ass. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this as somebody who wishes that I was in an executive position that had millions upon millions, probably billions in my bank account to where I could retire on an island like he can. It just bothers me when people willingly throw away money and they're acting stupid about it. If you feel wronged, if you felt away about these people coming on you and you didn't want to, and you felt like something is mentally wrong with you, like, because who put it in your brain that, oh, you gotta fuck your way to the top if you want to get to a hit? And let's say for whatever reason, nobody put that in her brain. She just did that on her own merit. And that just makes you look like an evil person. To convince yourself you gotta fuck your way to the top just to get ahead because you're surrounded by men. Like, you gotta put the work in. I don't know. I feel like everybody in this situation is at fault. Skip is at fault because if this is true, why the hell you paying 1.5 for some cheeks at work? For that matter, why are you around here being a creep? Samuel Acho, why are you fucking somebody just so they'll get a spot in your show? That tells me that you picked somebody who wasn't qualified for the job at the first place. And you just picked a random person just because the head was good and the sex was good. You probably overlooked somebody who was more qualified than she was. And as for Joy Taylor, like, I don't know what to say about it. You want to screw your way to the top. And when you get to the top, you want to claim that a couple men on your way up to the top did something to you when you allegedly did the deed yourself. And the part that gets me the most is the allegation of her wanting to slam allegations against men, knowing that stuff like that doesn't get taken seriously as it is, and all it does is make victims not even want to say shit anymore, and you just make everybody else look bad that actually wants to step forward and call some bullshit out. And let this be a lesson to all men and women. If you feel like you gotta fuck somebody just so they'll get a promotion, just so they'll get a raise, just so they'll get a job, then they wasn't qualified to begin with. And all you're doing, you're bringing on a liability that's going to be a headache down the road. Because guess what? Down the road, she going to want to come to your wife as a woman and say, oh, I want him. Now what we going to do? Fellas, just learn how to say no. Like, even if she's throwing it on you. And for God's sakes, don't coerce a woman into making her think that the only way she going to get a job or move up in the world is by fucking. Like, that's some old ass shit that should have never happened in the first place. That is outright wrong. Don't fuck a woman just so she'll get a job. Either hire somebody who's qualified for the job that they're tasked with, or step down from your fucking position, because I'm pretty sure there's somebody who would love to be in your seat that will actually do their fucking job. Boy, do I hate unprofessionalism. And for the women out there, don't ever feel like you have to sleep your way to the top. And this goes for anything. In music, in movies, in media. Don't ever feel like that. Don't ever let your homegirl whisper in your ear, oh, you gotta fuck the boss, or you gotta rub his back hood a bit if you want to raise. No, if you want to raise, you gotta work for it. Because guess what? You sleeping your way to the top is gonna be a future headache down the road, and it ain't gonna be a good one. But with that being said, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.